Hi, I am
Sweet.
Demi. I am the digital and social media editor for Indie 1023, and I'm here with Lily of Beach Bunny.
Woo!
I don't know why I had to like hype it up like DJ style like that, but
I
I'm
love
so stoked to
it.
meet you. So
You too. I mean, this is great. I'm excited.
yeah, I actually it was so funny how I discovered your music. It wasn't on our station, even though we do play you on the station. I actually heard
Mhm.
you through a TikTok, and
Oh,
that's how I
perfect.
discovered your music. Is that weird?
Honestly, that's fair. No, TikTok's a good beach bunny source for sure.
Are you on TikTok? Do you have a TikTok?
Recently, everyone's been like, you should make some because your songs are going around. So I've been trying, but I really am like bad at it.
It's funny because I feel like I was just talking to some of my coworkers that music discovery on TikTok is becoming so
Mhm.
prevalent lately. Like songs are going viral because of TikTok, which is insane.
That's so true. Yeah, I feel like there's whole playlists of just like the top 50 viral
Yeah.
hits.
Yeah. Like TikTok songs, they start out as jokes and then they become radio hits.
It's so true. I feel like always the lyrics that are like isolated in the TikTok too. I'm like, what is this song about? Like, I need to
Yeah.
hear more.
Yeah, I think I heard Blame Game on a TikTok and I was like,
Oh,
this
cool.
is perfect. I'm
Oh
going
yeah.
to look into who this is more. And then I ended up finding Beach Bunny. And then I think one
Oh.
of our radio DJs was like, we play Beach Bunny. And I was just like, cool, I'm embarrassed now. I also had to say that for the rest of the world. So now you all know I did not discover Beach Bunny on
Hey, no shame.
Thank you for not judging me. I appreciate that.
That's so funny.
Well, I want to start off one by saying congratulations because you just dropped a new EP this year and it is such a banger and you've been promoting it on your socials, but you also got to debut one of your songs on Jimmy Kimmel and it was your first like late night set. How was that?
Oh my gosh, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
It was pre-recorded, which was like it helped for sure. Like we couldn't do it in New York, but at the same time, it was like, do I sound good? Do I look good? Do I look happy? Do I look mad?
Yeah.
One of the cameramen was like, "Oh, you're not making eye contact." I was like, "Oh no, I have to look at my guitar though. Like, what do I do?"
Yeah, that's a weird thing about these kind of pre-recorded Zoom performances. It's like, okay, if I mess up, I can at least like correct myself, but you still get nervous and yeah, there's still a lot
Totally.
of excitement there because it's still a big deal.
Totally. Oh yeah, it was very, very surreal to see myself and like my bandmates on a TV.
Yeah, yeah, it's still such a surreal experience even if you're not there in person. And hopefully you get to be there in person one day because yeah, it's such a huge honor and I felt like a proud mom when I was
Oh,
watching it.
thank you.
Like, oh my God, they're on TV. It's like they're getting,
Oh,
I just feel like you and Beach Bunny and the whole band have just like sort of skyrocketed since 2017 and it started as just a solo project for you, right? And now it's like a
mhm,
full band. So how has that evolution
mhm.
been?
It's been great. I mean, I feel like it happened super naturally. Like it was just friends of friends, and we were just kind of jamming on stuff I already had. Yeah, and it's just I mean, at this point, like I consider them family, like they're just my like other brothers, and it's wonderful. I feel like at this point too, we really know how to like work together, which is great.
Yeah, I think that having a band setup from being solo is such a cool growth experience because do the other band
Mhm.
members how do they contribute to your sound or do they contribute to songwriting? Like what is that process
Mhm.
for creating music together look like now?
It's in some ways it's still the same. I feel like I usually just do it like on acoustic first and then I'll show everybody. But it's so cool having the ability to be like, okay, the song's not an acoustic song anymore. Like now it's a dance song because of all the drums and everything else. Or like this is a punk song or something like that. Whereas in the past, everything kind of sounded like singer-songwriter no matter what, you know?
Yeah. I think that your sound has gotten more complicated. Have you been able to put
Mhm.
down more of a pinpoint of like, oh, I really like this sound and I like that we're integrating a little bit more rock, or um how does that experimentation look like?
Ooh, that's a really interesting question. I feel like every song is definitely different. And maybe sometimes it's just like matching the vibe to the lyrics almost.
Mm,
Yeah. So if it's like angry lyrics, maybe like making it a little more heavy.
yes. It was funny. I don't know who I saw this on Twitter, but I think it was like not Live Nation or someone big, like their Twitter account was like, what genre of music has the best shows? And I was like, and then I thought about it, like, oh, I don't really know. I think that all of these genre fusions of bands now are going to
Mhm.
create such an eclectic show when we finally get live music back again. Cause it's like, yeah, I can go from having like a super poppy, dancey, fun song to something that's like
Mhm.
super rock and maybe people are gonna mosh pit to it, to something that's a little bit more mellow where people are just vibing in the back, you know? So I think
So
that
true.
having all of these different sounds is something that's really cool for bands to lean into nowadays. Cause yeah, there's still those concrete genres of rock and pop and
Hmm.
folk and all of that kind of stuff. But being able to have some versatility in your sound, I think really makes a really exciting show and really makes an exciting compilation of music. So yeah, it's
Hmm.
exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me what you guys have been up to. So you came out with this EP Blame Game in January. What have
Mhm.
you been up to since?
I feel like over the last, pandemic year, whatever you want to call that period, um, in isolation, like I've just been doing a lot of songwriting because there's not much to do.
Mm,
Um,
yep.
so, so now with all these songs, I feel like we're just going like head first into a second album, hopefully, and trying to like do a lot of recording in April. So we'll see. Trying to hopefully it comes out this year, but like we'll just see.
Yeah. No pressure, you know?
That's what I need to keep telling myself, honestly.
I feel like that could be so hard. Some of the different bands and musicians I've talked to are like, there's still that weird pressure to put out music, even though it's like, we're not going anywhere.
It's so true. It's so true. Even if like this year's probably not great for touring and I'm like, "Oh, but I need an album to tour on."
You
Like,
never know. And then you'll have 6 albums to tour on when we
"Oh my
eventually.
God." Yeah, what do you even play at that point?
Yeah, it's so insane. That's another thing I've been talking to people about too, is there's some festivals that have announced their lineups for later this year. And
Mhm.
I'd like to know your thoughts on that. Do you feel like you'd be prepared to perform later this year, or like are you holding off and waiting, or how do you
Mm.
feel about possible the possibility of touring this year?
I feel like the guy that books our tours is like kind of aiming stuff for like November, December,
Mhm.
which that almost feels like the next year. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. But like in terms of stuff over summer, I'm very, very wary
Yeah.
of what that will entail. I'm like, is Coachella happening? Like these really
Yeah.
big ones. I have no clue what their plans are.
Yeah, it's so interesting because some of these are like major capacity festivals, and it's like, how are we gonna like Wayne coin it, and we're all in bubbles
Right.
and just rolling through festivals. Can you imagine if
Oh my
I mean, you've performed at Riot Fest. Imagine being at Riot
God.
Fest in a bubble, just
Hmm. I
rolling.
feel like it'd be the safest mosh pits, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you probably, instead of getting blood on yourself, you'd get blood on the bubble. That's totally
Oh
safe.
no, that's true. God, that's so
Oh
funny.
man. Are you still in Chicago right now, or have you moved?
Yes, I'm still in Chicago. I'm living with my parents right now, and then I'm trying to move in like May-ish,
Mhm.
because it feels like the world is kind of coming back. It feels like a good time to move.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have some friends that are in Chicago, and how they've been handling it has been kind of like a mixed
Mm.
bag. Have they said anything about venues opening up possibly or anything like that?
I know that Riot Fest, or I'm pretty sure Riot Fest is still gonna happen this year,
Oh
which that one's like
wow.
in the fall, so we'll see.
I think like Riot Fest is the dirtiest I've ever been in my entire life. So I can't even imagine.
I know, I'm like, of all the ones, I'm not sure if this is meant to be, but we'll see. Um, yeah, other than that, I feel like a lot of venues are starting to like try to like talk about, minimal capacity and stuff, but I
Mm,
don't know when that'll happen.
right. So
Mhm.
while in quarantine last year, did you create any visuals for any of your singles?
For the blame game stuff or for new stuff?
Yeah, for both.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. I feel like, yeah, at least with like music video stuff, I love that stuff. So, always like conceptualizing like weird ideas. Uh, yeah, and I feel like Blame Game was fun to do because maybe since it was smaller, we kind
Yeah.
of were like, I don't know, like the songs were like not just breakup songs, and like the artwork was a little like brighter and like different. It was fun.
How was like producing a music video during that time? Like how was it collaborating with the team and working with
Mhm.
videos and coming up with these ideas like while we were all like weirdly
Yeah,
isolated and also on a super limited staffing, you know?
absolutely. Yeah, no, it was like so many Zoom calls, just so many. And then I feel like once the plan was really locked down, it was like, all right, everyone get tested, minimal crew, like we're showing up at this time, we're eating outside, like socially distanced, like all of that stuff was definitely like very real. And there was like another music video I did for the solo project I have, and like that was even in August, which was like pandemic was still going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
um and we just went to like this weird like rural part of Illinois, like just to get away because we didn't know where
Yeah.
else to film.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is like in such a big city, it's where do we go? What do we do?
Honestly, I'm like, who's gonna even let us for recording too, like the studios were like, are you even open?
Yeah, what did that process look like when you were recording music?
It was pretty similar. It was just like masks on, except for when I was recording vocals, and like try to keep your distance, like no eating in the studio, just
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of
Are
intense.
it is intense. It's such a strange process to think about. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I have to think about all these regulations on top of, trying to be creative and
Oh, sure,
whatnot in the
yeah.
studio.
No, totally. I'm like, oh wait, we can't use that bathroom, right? Got to use the Corona bathroom. Mhm.
Do you think any of the times that we experienced in 2020, not just pandemic wise, and affected any of your music and songwriting processes?
Yeah, I think definitely. I feel like last year I've just listened to so much music. I mean this year too, but like
Mm-hmm.
more music than ever because I would just be like, kind of bored. So I'd be like, you know what? This album I've never taken time to listen to, like let's try it. And I'm sure that all those different genres and stuff probably like influence.
Was there any music in particular that really stood out to you?
I feel like I was listening to a lot of one like instrumentals, but two like electronic
Yes.
pop.
Yes.
Because I feel like also, or a lot of the lyrics in electronic pop I either like don't really understand or they're just like upbeat. And I was like, I can't listen to sad music. It's like April of 2020.
Yep.
Mhm.
Was there any like music that you were surprised you were listening to or got to explore a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, even yeah, like the electronic pop, like hyper pop, like any of those like
Yes.
kind of chaotic genres, I was like, I think this is good, but I'm not sure.
Chaotic pop is amazing. It's so good. It's like
It's
you don't know what's
yeah,
happening. All the vocals are just like super distressed.
right. I'm like trying to listen to the lyrics. I'm like, I don't really know, but this is cool.
I don't know if you listen to, do you listen to your music on Spotify?
Sometimes.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Spotify during their Wrapped for this year had
Mm.
all of these different random genres. They would be like, "Oh, you listen to
Yes.
hyper pop or emo garage kitchen mix." I don't know. Like it was like,
Totally.
are you guys making up genres? Are you making them up? Because who listens to this? What is it?
No, I totally agree. Because I remember there was some box and it's like, you discover 250 new genres. I was like, what are you
What?
talking about?
It's like I want a list. What are all of these
Yeah.
genres?
It's like, I thought there was like maybe 20, 30.
Right. Spotify was
That's
like,
so
let's just
funny.
make them up. Let's
Right.
just create our own. Let's just do
Make everyone feel like good about their music discoveries.
exactly. We're all unique thanks to Spotify.
Mhm.
Well, I want to ask you a couple more before I let you go, but I really appreciate your time.
Of
And
course.
yeah, I just want to know, do you think now, especially while we're more at home, have fans reached out to you more about how your music has been affecting them? And do you feel like
Mm.
being inside more has allowed you to connect to your fans a little bit more intimately?
Yeah, I think in some ways, I mean, definitely like social media is so I think important for musicians now because we
Mhm.
can't tour.
Right.
Um, and I feel like maybe just because everyone's had so much time to like reflect and like do inner work and stuff, I feel like just even with my friends, like everyone's sending emotional messages. So even with fans, I feel like a very large quantity of either like breakups or like distressful times earlier in the pandemic,
Yeah.
which it's hard, but I'm glad that if my music in any way like helps them grieve, then I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. And is there anything that you learned more about yourself and maybe about your musicality that
Mm.
this year, this past year has taught you?
Yeah, I think well, a couple things. I think over the pandemic, I think I was holding like a lot of like anger, which is kind of why it came out in Blame Game. Um, and like all that reflection time kind of like helped me write those lyrics that I don't think would have happened if it was just a normal year. And then like musically, I've just been making beats on my computer and stuff, and like it's fun to find new instruments where I feel like maybe before I was a little closed off to that.
I am super excited for this EP that's been out. I'm sure it's going to just keep me going for the rest of this year.
Thank
But I
you.
am also excited to hear about any new music that you put out. And if you are thinking about doing a second album, then we are looking forward to it on indie side.
Oh,
But I
thank you
just,
so much.
of course, but I just wanted to thank you for your time again. And yeah, go and follow Beach Bunny on all of their socials, get connected, maybe use one of their songs on TikTok because why not? Somebody else can discover their music that way. And make sure that you're tuning into MD 1023 for more indie sessions at home and to also hear Beach Bunny's latest singles because we are spinning them, spinning the hits.
Hey.
And thank you again, Lily. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. So
Bye.
nice meeting you. I'll see ya.
Bye. It's nice to meet you.